Hello, this is Geotech and today I'll be taking a look at Manjaro Raspberry Pi 4 edition. So usually when I look at the Raspberry Pi 4, I always look at it whether it can do the basic stuff, meaning browse the web and do basic office work like use Libreoffice. That's what I checked out in a previous video where I reviewed the Raspbian, the default Raspberry Pi OS from raspberrypi.org. And here I have Manjaro ARM. Usually with Manjaro, you get more up-to-date software and usually like the kernel or the graphics. And so I wanted to check it out and see if there's any noticeable improvement over Raspbian or not. And so to start, I'm just going to launch LibreOffice. I've actually launched it once before already, so it'll be a little bit more quick here. I saw no problems with it. The only little things I noticed with it was that when you maximize and minimize the window, sometimes there's like a slight lag. You see this with the other Raspberry Pi OS as well. Right now you're not really seeing it, but sometimes it's just like a little laggy opening and closing. And then here by default you do get Firefox, and it appears to be an up-to-date version. I'm going to go ahead and play this YouTube video here. I was having an issue where the video wasn't playing back in a smooth way at 1080p. And I was kind of shocked because with Manjaro, since you're getting newer stuff, I figured it'd be even better. It was crashing a lot in 1080p, so I was going to conclude that it wasn't going to be the best experience, surprisingly. But suddenly, it's almost as if recording got it to work, or it just decided to start working. So here you can see I have the video at 1080p, and it's running pretty smooth. It has slight lag, maybe just like a tiny bit, but overall, it's actually perfectly fine. It's watchable, I would say. Probably won't give you the smoothest, best experience, but I think it's good enough if you're just casually browsing YouTube at 1080p with this device. Chromium doesn't come by default, but once you get it installed, Chromium actually works pretty much the same. Maybe it loads pages a little bit faster than Firefox, but I didn't really see much of a difference here. I'm going to skip this ad real quick. It's almost like you have to let it buffer for a bit. And once you let it buffer, that's when it kind of starts working, even if you switch to 1080p. Alright, so I'm going to switch that to 1080p. And again, it does take a little bit more time to load compared to like if you're browsing this on an Intel CPU. But I think overall, like I said, it'll get the job done. And as you can see, it's playing very smooth, mostly smooth. You kind of notice some stutters here and there, like very subtle stutters, I would say. But overall, it's very watchable. One other thing that I didn't do in a previous video is, can this be used to do basic video recording? I didn't really think Kdenlive nor OBS worked here. I didn't find OBS in the repositories for Manjaro ARM here, but I did find Simple Screen Recorder. But next I downloaded Kdenlive, and I wanted to see if it actually works. Based on what I've read, it looks like it should work on ARM devices. And so first I wanted to do a video recording using Simple Screen Recorder, which is, like the name says, it's pretty simple to use. So here it's actually loading the video, if you can tell. If it's not obvious to you, that's what it's doing right now. So I'm going to fire up Kdenlive here, and Kdenlive looks like it's all, like you're getting the full version of Kdenlive. It's not like this cut down version. I'm able to do pretty much everything that I usually do on, and what I'm going to do is just cut the video, and there's going to be like a few seconds of a total blackness. And it was actually surprisingly fast. I mean, I know it's only really what was it, like a 40-second clip, and it wasn't too bad actually. And so the question becomes then, it looks like you can not only record, you can also edit with Kdenlive, at least some basic editing, and then you can browse the web just fine. Not the smoothest, but it's very doable and very playable. All in all, I think this is a solid choice if you're just looking to do the basics. And for $35, $50 with some additional accessories, the Raspberry Pi 4 makes a very compelling buy at the price point. From my last video with Raspberry Pi, I think the biggest difference with Manjaro is that it's a lot faster and smoother to download programs than it was on the Raspbian OS, the default Raspberry Pi 4 OS. So that's something to note. Other than that, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.